Yes, welcome back to Dr. Hyde Park. There's still a little bit of rain around after those monsoon-type showers we had, those downpours, about 12:30. Shane Walsh is out there. He is starting the match. There was a strong rumour earlier on that he would not be starting because of a hamstring issue. Galway won the toss. They will play from right to left as we look at it. Joe McQuillan from Cavan is the referee. And the rain already getting heavier. A lot of tension around the place. A crowd of 1,049 officially as we await the throwing of the ball to get this Connacht semi-final underway. Desi Dolan.
Yeah, conditions are tough. It's wet. It's a lot of rain. There's a couple of deluges earlier on this morning, so certainly conditions are tough. A lot of pressure on both managers today to get the win. Anthony Cunningham's side have been relegated. They've only averaged 14 scores per game this year, so they'll be under a lot of pressure. In saying that, Galway, to have Shane Walsh playing is a massive boost. Yes, for sure it is, and a free for Galway straight away. So Shane Walsh is going to come out. There's Damien Comer. Hard to believe. Last championship start for him was back in 2018. Roscommon supporters chatting to some of them at the appropriate distance, of course, earlier on. And, well, they're a little worried about their record against Galway here at Hyde Park. You have to go back to 1990, 31 years ago, for Roscommon's last championship victory over Galway here at Dr. Hyde Park. There isn't a breath of wind around, really, maybe a gentle breeze blowing into the face of Shane Walsh. And if there is a hamstring issue and it's on his left leg, that will test it out. That one gone wide for a free taker. Of his calibre, you don't expect to see that one go wide, Desi. No, certainly not. That's a poor effort. It's into the rain, it's into a bit of wind, but certainly you would imagine that Shane Walsh would kick that over. He has struggled from play, certainly. 15 shots this year, 6 scores, so his accuracy is down a little bit, but certainly a fantastic player. Roscommon, that was almost claimed by Niall Kilroy. They've had problems winning their own kickouts when Lavin has to go long. Paul Kelly. Now it's Paul Conroy. That's a lovely ball into Walsh. He's got space from his marker. Didn't take on the shot. The shot now from Rob Finnerty. Wide. He got 5 against Roscommon in the league, and Galway with 2 wides very early on. Poor effort by Robert Finnerty. We remembered him down in Clare Stadium doing very well. Started extremely well, but that's 2 opportunities that Galway will be disappointed to miss. But you mentioned the kickouts, Colm Lavin. When he goes long, Roscommon only win 24% of their kickouts when they go long, as opposed to 93% when they go short. So the emphasis will be on Galway pushing up on the kickouts, try to get Colm Lavin to go long. There's some people, a lot of people under the covered section of the stand here, but others, as you can see, out in the open, in the elements. The delay was because there was another football on the field, and Colm Lavin had to remove it from the playing area. Enda Smith getting stuck in there. This is Eddie Nolan from Bridget's. Dylan McHugh there in front of him. The Currafin man blocking him down, and Galway turn Roscommon over. But then Galway under pressure. Shane Killoran flips the ball back in. The handling is going to be difficult. Paul Conroy has it back. Sean Mulcairn. And Sean Mulcairn has gone down injured. I think he's going to be all right, though. He seemed to be hurt initially. Here's Sean Kelly. Kelly brothers in action for Galway today. And Kelly's got it back again. He scored a few during the course of the league. He loves to get forward and knows where the posts are. And Galway finally get their first score. 3 minutes in, it's Sean Kelly. All coming from the turnover. Roscommon lost it in possession in the attack, quickly turned over, and that's the advantage having a player like Sean Kelly in the team, attacking from every moment, and a great score there, and to settle down Galway. Yeah, you would expect the scores to come from his brother Paul, but Sean Kelly has done that. We see so many teams doing it, getting defenders forward, lots of it with Monaghan last night in Clonus. So Lavin has to go long again and favours his right. That's going to be an issue for them. You can see it already, the kickouts. Well, I think for the last 10 years, Roscommon have struggled around midfield position. They've really struggled to get a natural midfielder that'll slot in there. They're relying on Eddie Nolan today. He's making his debut in midfield, so if he is the answer, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders today. Sean Kelly. There's so much pressure on both of these teams. For one of them, that bounce was a
a little dull. The surface is greasy. Roscommon have turned it over. This is Kieran Murta. Murta through to the brother Diarmid, and that one has gone over. He went very high with it. Well, they are lethal. Give them the space, give them the time, they'll do damage.
You mentioned conditions there, but there's a lot of handling errors at the minute with the conditions. It's slippy out there, there's a shower, there's handling errors all over the place, but you can see what Roscommon will offer. If they give them time and space, you have the Murtas, you have Enda Smith, they have a lot of quality up front, and that's a great score.
So let's see how Conor Gleeson goes with his kick out, goes short. It's secure anyway. Liam Silk for Galway. The rain is getting heavy again. We had such an amount of rainfall about 45 minutes before the start of the match, but the pitch is absolutely perfect, Desi, and it'll drain away just no problem, unlike the old one, but this pitch is fab.
Certainly, this pitch has been done a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, to a sand-based surface. The previous pitch was a bit bumpy, held the water a bit, but certainly Dr. Hyde is a fantastic surface, and the only thing that might affect it is a little bit of surface water.
But even with the crowd, you can still clearly hear the instructions from both teams roaring on various messages to each other. Dylan McHugh for Galway. Paul Conroy just shovels it back to Sean Kelly.
It's just interesting right now, Darragh, all of the Roscommon, every single player for Roscommon is back in their own half, and obviously they don't want Galway building from the defence, creating opportunities. Every single player right now is back in their own half for Roscommon, and we have to remember that Stephen Poacher is involved with Anthony Cunningham, and the Carlow influence is something to watch today.
Yeah, they know how to shut teams out. Damien Comer. And the instruction about +1, who's the extra defender back there. They have one very defined sweeper at the moment, but they can pop up with others. Galway make the mistake, though, hold on to the ball too long, and that is careless. The foul called against Finian O'Lee.
Yeah, and they'll see that as a success. Every player back. Galway were struggling to create the opportunity, but today is a vital day for matchups. You can see him holding on just a second too long, a bit indecisive. Loads of Roscommon players back, and good play, and Roscommon will get fuel from that, certainly.
So now Roscommon's turn to try and work the ball up the field. Conor Cox is screaming for it to the right of Sean Mullooly. Here is Conor Cox. He's going to have a go. Will he manage to draw it back in? No. So that's wide. First wide for Roscommon. Probably not the best decision from out there,
no,
Desi. That would be some point if it had gone over.
You don't have to ask Conor Cox. He's very aggressive on his shooting. He's shot 10 times this year. He scored 4 points. That gives you an idea. 40% success rate. That was a poor attempt at a point. And certainly, in terms of stats, you'd be disappointed if Anthony Cunningham that he's taking the wrong options.
So Gleeson went to the other corner, as you saw that time. And off goes Dylan McHugh. Players' jerseys are soaked already. Matty Tierney. They have really high hopes for him, and an outstanding footballer from Oughterard in the middle of the field wearing 9. O'Lee across to Sean Mulcairn, who took a knock earlier on, as you saw, but he's okay. Paul Conroy. 2008 was his debut. Paul Kelly. Finian O'Lee from Spiddle. So again, Roscommon have everybody back inside their own 65.
It's unusual what we're looking at there. All 30 players, well, 29, the goalie for Galway stayed in position, but all the defenders have pushed up as well. So Galway obviously aware that Roscommon were thinking of trying this, and they're pushing up all their players, all the defenders up in the half as well.
Can Galway pick a way through? They're sort of stuck on the Roscommon 65-metre line. They need players to run off the shoulder and accurate foot passes, and that wasn't accurate enough. It was Sean Kelly labbing out off his line. Has that gone out for a 45? No, it's called as wide in the end. So Roscommon have set out their stall.
Yeah, we can see Colin Lavin comes out, goes off Matthew Tierney. Very impressive player this year.
Long right down the middle. It's a one-on-one battle in the air, which Enda Smith is unable to win. Sean Mullooly. Enda Smith. So now Galway have 13 outfield players behind the ball. A little less now, but they're happy. They've just left one up at the moment, Galway.
This is the frustration with Roscommon this year. They're not direct. They've only scored an average 14 scores in every game, so in Division 1. So it gives you an idea that sometimes they're a little bit indecisive, not breaking the line enough.
The teams always talk about a 20-point target. Niall Kilroy losing the ball. He was put under serious pressure, and Roscommon have got to get back quickly. Shane Walsh, the Galway captain. That's a beautiful pass, but unable to catch it was Rob Finnerty, who was that lone Galway attacker. Should have been able to take the mark. Crowd getting more involved in the match now. A point apiece in the Hyde. Enda Smith. Shane Killoran. Now it's Conor Cox. David Murray is up there with him. He knows how to score, even though he's a cornerback. He's a very tidy cornerback. Conor Hussey. Referee blew the whistle for the mark, but Roscommon want to get on with it. That's Diarmuid Murtagh trying to draw it in. Well, he'll be cross with himself. It was another difficult chance, though.
Yeah, but a player of his ability, certainly you would expect him to knock that over. He's a fabulous player, a very good record, but disappointed. But good awareness there by Conor Cox. Spotted the opportunity to switch the play, and that's what Roscommon need. Play with plenty of width against this Galway team.
They're second wide as Gleeson sends it out to the middle of the field. And Galway have won their own kick out. Paul Conroy, here they come. This is Peter Cook. He'd been in New York, came back with the team. Matty Tierney in around the back is Peter Cook. Goal chance, no. He hit the football on the wrong side of the post. Wide though.
Yeah, Niall Daly is taking up Peter Cook. It was a great opportunity, just pulled it to the left. Colin Lavin narrowed the angle. You can see it coming in here just narrowly wide, and that's a couple of misses. Great play by Matthew Tierney. Spotted the opportunity for a goal. Disappointing effort there. It was a good opportunity to score.
He should have scored, but you do have to credit, as you mentioned, Niall Daly was putting him under pressure just as he made contact with the football. Well, the one that was in play. We have a stoppage at the moment. Roscommon man down and a Galway man down. Sean Malooly, that is, of Roscommon. And Shane Walsh is okay. He's just adjusting the footwear.
Yeah, conditions are having a big impact in this game so far. You would have to say that the conditions underfoot leading to a lot of ball handling errors, and both teams struggling at the minute to cope with it. I've seen a great opportunity there for Robert Finnerty to win a ball in front of his man. That was missed, so it's critical that you hold on to the ball, keep in possession. But certainly Galway have missed 1-2 so far that they should have in the bag.
So plenty of reported Joyce to consider at the moment, and indeed for his opposite number, Anthony Cunningham.
Yeah, and the matchups we see Enda Smith, Ciarán Malloy picking him up, Niall Daly, Peter Cook. Niall Kilroy is picking up Paul Conroy. He did very well in the league, Paul Conroy, so we're trying to close him out as much as they can. Speaking
of players doing very well, that was good fielding from Enda Smith. He was fouled as well. Ciarán Murtagh, he's got pace to burn. Murtagh from 44 away. Ambitious, wide though. Some of the crowd in front of us thought it was over. It was close.
Narrowly wide by Ciarán Murtagh. He's under pressure kicking. Roscommon have missed a couple of good opportunities as well, so scoring is hard to come by at the minute.
At the moment it's hard to see either of them on this wet day shooting the lights out and running up big tallies. I think it's going to be a grind. Conor Gleeson and Galway have won their own kick out. Finian O'Lee was in the right place. Johnny Heaney helping out as well. Matty Tierney, one of those really talented under-20s from last year. Shane Walsh is still moving well. Dylan McHugh. Ciarán Malloy, chance for him to get forward. Roscommon have 14 players inside their own 65. We've had no Galway score for 10 minutes. Oh, we had those, let's call it a flurry of points, one for either side in the space of 60 seconds in the third and fourth minute. Galway's handling just lets them down. That wasn't a great fist pass. Ciarán Malloy. Peter Cook. So now it's this defensive block for Roscommon again. Johnny Heaney for Galway. There was a gap there, but look at how he was surrounded. Now it's Damien Comer. Comer sends that one high, and the umpires love it. So Galway go in front by 2 points to 1. Their first score in 10 and a bit minutes. They were patient, it paid off.
Very hard to break this Roscommon team down at the minute. Johnny Heaney did excellent, drew in 3 or 4 players, laid it off to Damien Comer and scoring from distance, but very hard to break down this Roscommon team. All their players are back in defence, and certainly as not used to seeing Roscommon being this defensive.
Yeah, it's a bit of a throwback, but it's an indication of, well, perhaps they're a bit uncertain of themselves after a tricky league campaign. Both of these teams relegated from Division 1. A little bit of water coming up off the surface there. Here's Sean Malooly. Kieran Murta set him up. Galway have defenders back now. Kieran Murta to Dermot. There's nobody on the 20-metre line. He has 3 teammates coming towards him. Back with Kieran Murta. Had Malooly behind him. So now they've got to work it through Galway's defence. Killoran forced back out the field and sideways. Bounce beats Connor Daly. Brian Stack set them forward. Here's Connor Daly. Connor Cox. Galway have left one up again. That's Rob Finnerty. Everybody else is back here. But Enda Smith finds a way through. And Smith for Roscommon on the 20-metre line really should score and does score. 2 each.
Roscommon's captain, inspirational figure in Roscommon, and a brilliant score there, using all his physical power, his strength, and you can see him finishing as well. It certainly probably was a free in. Joe McQuillan gave him the advantage, and a very good score.
Yeah, delighted with that. Super competitor, super athlete, Enda Smith.
Yeah, he's had a quiet season by his standards, and certainly when he is playing well, Roscommon definitely are much more competitive. Moved him out to midfield, and I think that certainly is adding to his play today.
So Conor Gleeson can go short. He's 3 players. You can see them fanned out across the 20-metre line. He just popped it forward to Finian O'Lee. Johnny Heaney indeed available for him. Players screaming for it all over the place. Paul Conroy. O'Lee to Kieran Malloy. And Malloy sends that in long. Damien Comer couldn't hang on to it, and the ball just got stuck on the surface water. Connor Cox. Shane Killoran. Niall Daly to Connor. And the Smith score of the last point. Nice little pop pass in to Kieran Murta. Murta is surrounded with Donny Smith has got it. No way through that maroon wall. 4 Galway men around him. They go back out the field. Eddie Nolan picks it up. They have to work very hard for every scoring opportunity. Both of these teams, when you get down here, you've got to make it count. Roscommon have a player down injured. The medics coming in to treat him. Sean Malooly. Brian Stack. Dermot Murta. Kieran Malloy there with him. Murta. We're right behind that. It's tight, but it's a brilliant point. No, it's been called as wide. It's been called as wide. Now that is an interesting one. It was tight, there's no doubt about it. The crowd here, well, we followed their reaction. What do you think yourself?
Yeah, I was watching Anthony Cunningham. He went down to the linesman. The linesman had just tailed a little bit, I think. Although certainly when you look on camera, it looks over the bar.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, the linesman was picking up. I don't think we're going to see it there, but the linesman said to Anthony Cunningham, you could see him having the conversation, that it certainly was wide, but it looked for a long time that was sailing over the bar.
Okay, so it's been called as wide, and here's bad news for Roscommon with Eddie Nolan being helped away and off, so his afternoon is done as we're at the first half water break.
Yeah, Eddie Nolan making his debut. He'd be very disappointed going off. The possibilities, Tygo Rourke possibly coming in here for midfield into the Roscommon team. Certainly an area, as I mentioned beforehand, that Roscommon struggled the last couple of years. Find a big physical presence.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of experience. I know we're maybe on the Galway team, some of the younger players, the inexperienced players, but this Roscommon bench for starters, Cathal Craig, you mentioned Tygo Rourke, Fergal Lennon is there, Ronan Daly, Conor Devaney, Cian McKeown. So
yeah, no, you mentioned Ultan Harney as well. They played a challenge match against Tyrone the last couple of weeks, and Ultan Harney was meant to have done very well in that game. So certainly another player with a lot of experience for Roscommon. You mentioned the strong bench as well.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Galway. They played Roscommon in the Connacht final 2 years ago. Only 3 of the 15 starters today played in that Connacht final 2 years ago.
That's some turnover, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Pádraig Joyce is introducing lots of new players. Won the All-Ireland under 20 last year, so it gives you an idea that they're blooding new players, but at the same time it's all about winning, and I think if Pádraig Joyce doesn't win today, he'll be under a bit of pressure.
That's Tygo Rourke. Would have been pretty close to a start anyway. So
yeah, no, an experienced player, and you see that this is a team that played Dublin in All-Ireland under 21 in 2010. This is a nucleus of a team that has come through the last couple of years. Possibly maybe a failing that they haven't introduced many more players, but certainly that's a team very familiar with how to play football.
So Gleeson, Conor Gleeson, a lot of hang time on that. Damien Comer, brilliant mark from Damien Comer. And one of the longest passes we've had in the match so far, but they can't make it stick with Shane Walsh. Credit the Roscommon defence.
And Brian Stack in particular, very close, touch tight. And Brian Stack had a difficult year this year. He's marked Conor O'Callaghan, Shane Walsh, David Clifford and Shane Walsh again today. That's some lineup to be marking.
So it continues to be cagey, very tactical, tight. There is so much at stake for one of these teams. There's no tomorrow in the championship. Here's Niall Kilroy off his left boot, hit the post, picked up by Galway by their fullback Sean Mulcairn.
Great play by Niall Daly, creeping up the pitch, finding Niall Kilroy in space. He certainly should have knocked that over the bar with his left foot.
Yeah, once you get there, you've got to take the chance. They've fluffed a few of those. Now there's some space in the Roscommon defence. Liam Silk, how did he get up there? Here's Paul Kelly. They got another cornerback attacking. Sean Kelly did it earlier on. Liam Silk has stayed there. Here's Peter Cook as they're forced back out the field. Roscommon shuttling across to try and close them down. Sean Kelly. Finian O'Lye. Sean Mulcairn. So the 14 outfield players for Galway are camped inside the Roscommon 65-metre line. Kieran Malloy working it to Johnny Heaney, Paul Conroy, Shane Walsh, and Dylan McHugh. This will test their patience,
and it makes it just nearly impossible to play football because you have 30 guys inside and let's say half of the pitch, and basically all they can do is go over and back. It's very difficult to get near the goal in this situation. So you're seeing the high stakes of championship football, nobody wanting to lose and not taking a risk, and lots of players back.
Shane Walsh did well to hang on to it, helped out by O'Lye. Here's Liam Silk. Sean Kelly trying something different. It worked earlier on. They're in around the back to Cook. Here's a goal. Has to be a goal. And is from Paul Kelly. They picked their way through. And that Roscommon defensive wall has been breached by Paul Kelly.
Great patience by Galway, waiting for the right man. Peter Cook did it brilliantly well to lay it across to Paul Kelly, who buried it to the net. But great patience and exactly what you need against a team playing so defensively.
A goal in a match like this is huge.
Yeah, and that'll ask the question. Roscommon will have to come out and play if they go behind.
Enda Smith now partnering Tygo Rourke in the middle of the field. Shane Killoran David Murray. Kaloran spotted a gap there. Didn't take on the shot though. Conor Hussey has, and Hussey gets the first score after the Galway goal. That's a good response from Roscommon.
Great play by Conor Hussey. Has been an exceptionally good year this year. A leader in that defence, getting up there and a great score from distance.
From Michael Glavies. Gleeson getting good distance on that. The wind has gone away completely. There isn't any sort of a breeze. Here come Galway with Sean Kelly again. That's Conor Cox back playing like a left corner back. He had to go with him. Free in Galway.
I'm thinking he's back playing like a forward, giving a tackle away like that. It's poor. It's just as he was going down to pick up the ball, he lunged in. You can see it there. Very simple free for Joe McQuillan to give, and a real forwards tackle.
So Shane Walsh is going to take this. Remember, he missed his first one.
You can see him rinsing the jersey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, conditions are tough underfoot for kicking off the ground, but this is a difficult kick.
All of the scores so far in this match, unfortunately we haven't had enough of them, but they've all been from play. So this could alter that. On its way from Shane Walsh.
Yeah, and if he has one fill-in, it's his accuracy. Certainly, I mentioned from play, it's 15 shots, 6 scores, but he's missed 2 frees already. That was a very difficult kick. He possibly would be better going short, getting the return and working a score.
Not easy at all.
Kevin mentioned his ability to run with the ball, certainly unquestioned, but at the same time, his shooting accuracy is something for a real top player he can work on.
Conor Daly for Roscommon. Sean Malooly combining with Diarmuid Murta. Malooly has it back. Enda Smith, the Boyle man. Pressure put on him. There's Tygo O'Rourke now. It's just so hard even to hold on to the ball. Have to be perfect with everything on a day like today. Enda Smith across to Niall Daly. Daly been held up by Peter Cook. Conor Daly is fouled. Ciaran Malloy just breaks down.
Yeah, that turnover is critical for Roscommon, just not to give the ball away in offensive positions.
Liam Silk for Galway. Sean Mulcairn working the ball out to the far side. Sean Kelly involved. Damien Comer. Sean Kelly has given them a different dimension when he's managed to get forward. Damien Comer can't manage to hold onto the ball, and actually he's touched it on the ground.
Good pressure by Roscommon. Lots of numbers back again as we expected. Seen Damien Comer, the handling error. You can see him just picking the ball off the ground. Joe McQuillan quickly onto it, and Roscommon, as I mentioned, they've done this a couple of times today, and it's a tactic that they're going to employ throughout the game.
So there's a little bit of space for Conor Daly now of Roscommon. He can go left and right, takes it on himself, Conor Daly, and kicks the point. That'll do.
The Dalys are great men to get forward, great men to kick scores, and Conor Daly this time corner back, the opposite side of the pitch at David Murray, so they're willing to attack the defenders. Great score, and a vital score for Roscommon.
So they've got the 2 points that have followed the Galway goal from Paul Kelly. Dylan McHugh. Finian O'Lye. Sean Mulcairn. So you can hear the instructions again. Like, if you're going to set up with this big defensive unit, they have to talk to each other, they have to help each other. Players from behind, players in front, the whole lot. Here's Kieran Malloy, and they'll give Galway opportunities out wide when they cram the middle. And now it's back to Paul Kelly, and Kelly has got through again, not for another goal, this time a point. 1-1 for him.
Kieran Malloy took the shot. Paul Kelly didn't give up on it, came along the end line, took the good option. There was lots of men back there. Colin Levin was quick out, but a good score by Galway. But Kieran Malloy did particularly well. He crept up the far sideline, took the shot on, ended up finding Paul Kelly. Good score, Galway.
Tiger Rourke. Conor Daly. Now, Shane Killorn. And that's Conor Daly. They've got in again. Maybe things are starting to settle down. Maybe it's a little bit more relaxed. That's 2 for Conor Daly.
Great play by Roscommon, and great play again by Conor Daly, creeping up the pitch, getting the score, well able to kick them points. But Galway defensively, straight down through the middle. We've seen against Monaghan in the relegation game. They do cough up opportunities for the opposition.
So is there an issue for Finian O'Leigh? Galway left so many scores after them that day, and they had, as you mentioned, defensive issues too. Great kick from Conor Gleeson, lands in the middle of the field. Maluli for Roscommon, different field to it now, attacking with plenty of purpose. Brian Stack, he knows where the post is, but he's going to try and set up others. Kieran Murta, it's come through to Donny Smith, and Donny Smith fires that one over. They're moving now. They've scored 4 out of the last 5 points.
And that's the Roscommon we're very familiar with. Lots of ability up front. Great play, great awareness there. And you see Kieran Murta popping the pass into Donny Smith. He's never going to miss from there. A very accomplished finisher. Great score and great play by Roscommon.
So the sides level for the 3rd time. Get him the ball in the right areas, and he will do untold damage, Donny Smith. So that's a foul against Tiger Rourke. So the pattern repeats. Roscommon drop back. Galway, well, it's up to them to find a way through. Niall Daly at the moment is the sweeper, and he's just tracking from side to side, trying to put himself in the best position to help out, or if the move breaks down, or Galway are sloppy. Here's Kieran Malloy. Rob Finnerty, very different game for him today from the one in Salthill in the league. Liam Silk, Peter Cook. Sideways, Finian O'Leigh, he's recovered from that knock earlier on. Damien Comer did well to regain his footing. Kieran Malloy. Donny Smith there with it. He scored the last point. The referee didn't like the challenge, though. It was too physical from Donny Smith. Free Galway.
Yeah, Donny Smith just dragged him back here. Malloy was aggressive. He needed to be direct. He was, but you can see the arm coming in there, pulling the arm back, and certainly a free. And Joe McQuillan gave that free, but the forwards are coming back, but they're giving away frees. And be an interesting one for Shane Walsh here. He's missed 2. This is 50 yards. Conditions underfoot are difficult off the ground, so a big kick for him.
I thought for a moment Paul Conroy was going to take the free, but it is Shane Walsh.
He's moved back a foot.
Well, every centimetre counts, I suppose, but it's made it even harder now.
Yeah, and Roscommon doing well with their tactics. Stephen Poacher's added to the backroom team this year. We were wondering what he's going to do when you can see 15 men in Roscommon back all the time in the first half and getting a certain amount of joy out of it.
Out of picture, Pádraig Joyce was just having a word with Johnny Heaney to send in some advice or different instructions. So Walsh, right-footed this time. That's a really nice strike. That's beautiful.
Yeah, he's never going to miss 3 in a row, is he, Dara? He's just a quality player. Brilliant score. The question was asked and he delivered. Great score by Shane Walsh.
Galway edge in front, heading to half-time. Colm Lavin, Tiger O'Rourke for Roscommon. Referee gives the free. Now Conor Cox hasn't had too many looks at those posts. There's Sean Kelly with him. Enda Smith. Now Smith, they just stepped away from him, and Enda Smith has popped that over. They seem to have him covered, and the defender, well, maybe it was a stumble, a slip, but all of a sudden the space opened.
Yeah, great body position by Enda Smith. A little shimmy there, found himself in 2 yards of space. From that distance, he's going to kick them all day, and that's what he wants. If Galway give him that time, give him that space, he will do damage. Great score, 2 points for him today. Great start, doing very well.
This could be going all the way, you know. We have to have a winner today. And that is a foul by Peter Cook. Roscommon may not want the half-time break to come, but it is approaching. So Kieran Murtagh pops the ball to Diarmid. Now Galway have plenty of defenders back. Diarmid's going to have a go himself. That one's not going to come back.
Yeah, you would expect him when he gets a free shot like that to knock it over. He's that much quality, and lots of these Roscommon forwards. You've Donny Smith, Diarmid, Kieran Murtagh, you've Enda Smith out there, Conor Cox. A lot of quality up front for Roscommon, and if you get time, opportunity, space, they will get scores.
Conor Gleeson could have taken that kick out a bit quicker. Johnny Heaney was free down in front of us here, but, well, decided to wait. And Roscommon have, well, they had the ball. 2 minutes being added on. Kieran Malloy, Galway's key scorer, the goal from Paul Kelly. They've managed just 2 points since that goal. Roscommon have managed 5, and Galway now have a free in. And Shane Walsh will have another free.
That man Kieran Malloy doing well again, find himself in space. Conor Hussey comes in way too aggressive with the tackle, arm around him there, couldn't release the hand, and free in. Shane Walsh would come over, kick this, but good play again by Robert Finnerty. David Murray is picking him up, very tight, tenacious defender, having a good battle. It's
not going to be Shane Walsh to kick the free, it's going to be Matty Tierney, actually.
Yeah, and he's having an excellent season. Great player, great young talent.
Yeah, this is championship debut. Powerful strike from Matty Tierney, and he's done his stuff at free kick time.
He can do it all. He can play midfield, catch ball, go into the full forward line if needs be for the long ball in, kick frees. An extremely talented young player.
Galway back in front. That's a great kick from Lavin, and Sean Malooly wants to keep going. Niall Kilroy. Diarmid Murtagh to Conor Cox. Sean Kelly is Galway's best man marker. That's why he's on Conor Cox, and he's done a pretty good job on him so far. Kelly has had a few attacks himself. Sean Malooly. Tiger O'Rourke. All very tight in there. Angle doesn't help any potential shooters. Shane Killoran goes all the way back. Brian Stack. Galway have 13 outfield players inside their own 45. So Donny Smith launches it long, wide. That's the problem.
Yeah, we've seen Diarmid Murtagh previously rushing a shot. Donny Smith needs to be a bit more patient, try to get the ball into the scoring zone. You see them recycling the ball but not getting it in close enough to goal. Under pressure kicking that, poor effort.
6th wide for Roscommon. There'll be a lot of fellas who won't have voices tomorrow after all the shouting that's been done here. It has been tight, it's been tactical. Neither of them have shot the lights out, but at half-time in Dr. Hyde Park, this could be going all the way. Galway 1-5, Roscommon 7 points.
Conditions are pretty much similar. It's raining quite heavily at the minute. Damien Comer has moved into the full forward line, a big physical presence in there, and see how it goes. Probably Galway looking to be a bit more direct.
Okay, well, actually from now on, the Galway number 12 is going to be known as Finian. That's it. Here we go, Roscommon. Their number 12, Shane Killoran. Galway with the 1 point lead. Kieran Murtagh.
He was looking for the free, Kieran Murtagh. There was a little drag back there, but Joe McQuillan decided that the free was for over carrying, and Galway now in possession.
So there's a great run forward been made by Sean Kelly. Conor Cox has gone with him. Here's the brother Paul. Paul got 1-1 in the first half. That's a point. He's got it. He's had some game, Paul Kelly.
Great play, very quick and great thinking by Paul Conroy out midfield to get the free away. Roscommon stood still debating about the over-carrying decision by Joe McQuillan. Galway, on the other hand, pressed forward and got a very good score.
So here is the response from Roscommon. Good catch by Sean Malooly. Every part of Gaelic football is difficult today. Running, soloing, handling, hand passes, heading towards the end line is Diarmuid Murtagh. Murtagh back in, and they just can't make contact with it. Conor Gleeson is there. Good defending by Liam Silk, but it's gone out for a 45. That could have ended up as anything. It could have gone anywhere.
Yes, you said it. Good defending by Liam Silk. Got over the ball, made sure that no Roscommon player was going to get in on top of it, and ultimately pushed out over the line by Kieran Murtagh. And an opportunity here for Roscommon. But that ball could have went anywhere, and you can see yourself there, the conditions now are pretty tough for these players.
Yeah, starting to deteriorate badly. So here's Donny Smith. For their first point of the second half, Donny, the distance won't be a problem. It's all about the accuracy, and it just edges in.
Fantastic score by Donny Smith. That's the first score from a place ball for Roscommon today, and that's an inspirational score into the bit of a slight breeze that's blowing here, is coming down that end.
Shorter kick out. They both did well with the long kick outs, actually, when you look at the numbers from the first half.
Yeah, Conor Gleeson introduced, he came in the last league game against Monaghan for Bernard Power, and I have to say he's been pressed, a couple of great shots, one-on-one saves against Monaghan, and again today with his kick-outs, very accurate.
He used to play soccer with Galway United, and I think that's loan as well. Here's Kieran Malloy. Liam Silk popping up everywhere. Paul Kelly has been their scoring star. Paul Conroy. Good handling by Liam Silk. Galway trying to find a way through. It just broke down. Kieran Malloy juggled with it. What are Roscommon doing? Almost architects of their own downfall. Has that gone wider, out for a 45? It's wide.
Damien Comer particularly frustrated. Thought he'd done enough to win the 45. Roscommon got away with that very loose play. Great tenacity there. Colm Lavin did well, and we see it here. Yeah, certainly a Galway ball missed by the umpire.
Colm Lavin for Niall Daly. Nicely done. It's a quicker kick out from Lavin. Shane Killoran. And Niall Daly has made a good run forward, but that's a bad pass straight to Peter Cook of Galway. Lets it go long. Roscommon look a bit out of shape. Here's Damien Comer for Galway. Rob Finnerty fists the ball over the bar.
You called it, Dara. Very bad pass by Shane Killoran. took on a very ambitious kick. All of a sudden, it's in Damien Comer's hands. He showed great experience to make sure to score into Rob Finnerty, an excellent player. Good score for Galway.
And they fail from the kick out. That went straight out of play off the tee from Colm Lavin.
And that's the Achilles heel for Roscommon when the pressure comes on, that kick out. So Peter Cook here and Niall Daly having words. So both men are taking a step back.
Yeah, and well, Peter Cook is going to need a new jersey. We think they both changed jerseys at half-time because they were soaked to the skin.
He'll be putting on the wet one again anyway.
Yeah. So they have another short from. So it's not the same number. I think there's 18 on the back.
Yeah,
so that was Sean Andy Kelly's number. But anyway.
Yeah,
so what's the referee going to do, Desi?
I'd say in this situation, he's straight up for linesman. That's what went on. 2 players involved. Niall Daly is remonstrating. And I can imagine both players will pick up a yellow card and move on.
Yeah. A yellow apiece.
Yeah, and that's crucial going forward to keep the discipline. A loose tackle now for either of these players and they could be going towards the line. So, especially with the conditions there's been so tough as they are right now.
So Cathal Craig is in. Shane Killoran gone off. That's on the Roscommon team.
Just ruthless game, kick the ball away and all of a sudden on the sideline,
yeah.
like, and you can see Anthony Cunningham, but you have to say Roscommon have a very good bench, lots of talent on that bench.
And loads of experience. And on Cathal Craig, a big player for Roscommon. So Roscommon, again, everybody inside their own 65. Kieran Malloy just bounces off Cathal Craig. Malloy to Johnny Heaney. Heaney has to go back. Dylan McHugh close to him. Will they be able to get into a shooting position? No, they won't. Cathal Craig accepted the gift of the possession. And Donny Smith is fouled by Johnny Heaney. He just wanted to stop the counter-attack, the Galway man.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned it at half-time. Donny Smith back there winning the ball. These are the shooters that we know in Roscommon. And it's 80 yards up the pitch to get that ball back.
And then they've given it away very cheaply. Conor Daly, scorer of 2 points. Liam Silk had to go into the terrace to get the ball. Rob Finnerty has got 1 point. That came off his fist. Now goes with the right boot, Rob Finnerty.
Out for 50, yeah.
50, yeah, got a touch.
Great block down there by the Roscommon defender, getting in tight, get on his foot. Very good opportunity, all coming from a loose pass again by Roscommon, and it's a sticky patch here for Roscommon.
And this is, well, just getting a bit messy. As Finnerty wanted to send the other football out. Colm Lavin wasn't having any of it, so that's been sorted out. So Matty Tierney still on the freeze. Yes. The reaction, Brian Stack has ended up on the ground after a coming together with his marker Shane Walsh. Massive amount of tension out there. Tierney with the strike and Tierney with the point. Galway outscoring Roscommon by 3 points to 1 since the match restarted. And
that's class from Matthew Tierney, keeping a man of Shane Walsh off the freeze, but scoring from distance in these conditions. Excellent play. He is an all-rounder. Is a great find for Porrick Joyce in this Galway team.
David Murray is under pressure, has to get rid of it and touch the ball on the ground. Well, Murray was surrounded. Just in trouble from the kick out.
Yeah, Finian O'Lee, as we call him. He was a bit overzealous when the free was given. The linesman's on it. He's going to throw this ball up. After the initial good work,
yeah,
he was pulling the ball off the Roscommon player.
Well, it's a bit feisty now, isn't it? Kieran Malloy to Paul Conroy. Oh, there's a free man in there. Couldn't find him though. Roscommon with plenty of defenders back in decent positions. Johnny Heaney it was of Galway who got free. Home fans getting behind their team now as Enda Smith takes the ball out. How quickly can they attack? Here's Sean Malooly to Conor Cox. Fair bit of water came up off the surface there. The rain has been constant since this started. That pass had to be perfect and was. Conor Hussey scored a point in the first half. Here's Niall Kilroy. What's on here for Brian Stack? He can score. They've got in around the back, and there is the point taken by Cathal Craig with the fist. People don't like them, but hey, Roscommon love them right now.
Yeah, but Cathal Craig signalled over to Anthony Cunningham. I think he's picked up an injury here. He could be in a bit of bother, but a great score. That's why he was brought into the team. He's great awareness, great experience, great know-how. That's an excellent finish.
They keep an eye on him.
Yeah, all coming again. That Niall Kilroy, he back in defence, intercepting a pass, upsetting up the move. Great play by Roscommon, Niall Kilroy.
So they found a number 27 for Peter Cook. So Sean Andy Kelly has his jersey back. Gleeson's kick out. Paul Kelly unable to bring it under control. It's a Roscommon ball. 31 years since Roscommon beat Galway here in the championship. Enda Smith. Cathal Craig is in out of picture, sort of left corner forward position, unmarked. Now Kieran Malloy has spotted him, and Roscommon will try and get the ball down to him. Here's Brian Stack. Does he want to have a go himself? No. Gets it to one of the shooters, Conor Cox, and Cox has blasted that one wide again. It hasn't been his day so far. 7 wides Roscommon.
You said it. Coming into this game, 10 shots, 4 points, 40% accuracy. He's missed 2 shots. They blazed them wide. He's not had a good day, and Anthony Cunningham is going to make a change here. I think it could be Conor Devaney, is it?
It is, yeah.
Conor Devaney coming in, and I mentioned Cathal Craig pulling up after he got that score. So obviously he pulled, probably not warmed up enough, picking up some sort of muscular injury, I would imagine, and straight off again, even on that pitch 2 or 3 minutes.
Now that's a real shame for Cathal Craig. Well spotted, Desi. Conor Devaney started the league game against Galway. Match they lost by 6 points, and their league run, well, the 2 big teams, I suppose, the big hitters at the start, and they did very well against Kerry and Dublin for 55, 60 minutes, and then in both of them it just kind of faded away, and they never turned up against Galway.
It's been a flat season for Roscommon. They just haven't been playing to the heights I would expect from them. But I have to say that Division 1 North or South or West this year was extremely difficult. You had Dublin, Kerry, high quality teams in there, so it was very, very difficult.
Galway were very good in Salt Hill that day. Very good. And won it well. So here goes Conor Gleeson. Sean Kelly can't hang on. Enda Smith with the turnover. Gleeson's out of his goal. Murtagh was screaming for it. It was Diarmuid Murtagh who got free. That's a free in.
Yeah, it was a frustrated tackle, Dara, wasn't it?
It's a free out, sorry. There's a card coming out.
Yeah, Diarmuid Murtagh was looking for the ball off Enda Smith. When the ball didn't come quick enough, he lashed in then to the Galway player. Frustrated man there.
The Galway man is down injured, so there's a yellow for Diarmuid Murtagh.
Yeah, Enda Smith, for a brief moment, there was men everywhere for Roscommon. The one person that didn't want to go to, you can see it there, Dylan McHugh coming out with the ball, and a poor tackle. High, physical, everything was wrong with that.
His head seemed to hit the ground there, Dylan McHugh. The medics have cleared him to play on. You could see Diarmuid Murtagh's reaction to player out the field, Enda Smith, because Gleeson was struggling to get back for a bit.
He certainly was out of position, and Enda Smith had a great opportunity to play the ball. Just loose pass, that's all. Here's
Damien Comer. Finian O'Lye is sent to the ground. Oh, and Damien Comer now sent to the ground. Conor Cox it was who came together with Damien Comer. That's a hefty challenge, and the notebook's going to come out again.
Disappointing challenge there. Conor Cox is coming down the pitch. He's missed a couple of shots. He done this in the first half as well. Coming down certainly into the chest of Damien Comer. An easy decision for Joe McQuillan. A yellow card coming here for Conor Cox, and just hasn't been his day today.
No. Damien Comer's okay. They had a chat about this after.
And what a tackle there by Brian Stack. What a player this man is. He's marked some of the best forwards in the country. Conor Callaghan, David Clifford, the whole Shane Walsh. But it's brilliant talent, but that was high, that was reckless.
Well, Comer's okay. I think he enjoyed it.
He loves a physical contest, but this is a big kick from Matthew Tierney. He's kicked 2 great ones already.
Galway by 1-8 to 9. Heading towards the second half water break. Matty Tierney draws that in beautifully. Oh, that's a great strike from Matty Tierney. Keeps them nice and low, doesn't he?
That is class for a young guy to kick points like that. That's his 3rd point from frees. He took Shane Walsh off the frees. Porrick Joyce, what a great decision that was. And Matthew Tierney has hit some fantastic scores for this Galway team.
So that Paul Kelly goal, still the difference between the two teams. Diarmuid Murtagh has gone off.
3 wides in the first half, not like him, uncharacteristic. Yellow card now, so Anthony Cunningham probably not taking a chance.
Cian McKeown, another one of those who started the league game against Galway, is now in.
And you can sense here in the stadium it's a critical period now for Roscommon, and that's a great catch by Enda.
That's the way to win your own kick out. It's moved forward as well. Now Galway look out of shape. Malooly for Roscommon, brilliant block. That was Dylan McHugh who threw himself at the ball. Roscommon really should have scored there.
Great catch by Enda Smith. You can see him going to the clouds there. Brilliant catch, and quickly moves the ball on. Disappointing effort by Sean Maloney. Pause for a second, and brilliant block down by Dylan McHugh.
Paul Conroy wasn't able to get off the ground. So there is a place ball coming up the 45. Anthony Cunningham coming down from his position in the dugout. Drive forward, that's the message. So Donny Smith. This is tricky. Goal between them, and it's not going to hit the target, and the referee's whistle sounds. Galway get on with it quickly. Will this open up? Second half water break coming up. There's Peter Cook. Matty Tierney. Bit of a gap for Tierney. Enda Smith was brilliant there. They didn't foul him, and it's a free at Roscommon. Tierney looked to be away. Enda Smith had other ideas.
That's an inspirational tackle by Enda Smith. Matthew Tierney, he was bearing down in goal. He came in with a tackle, brilliant tackle. And all of a sudden, Roscommon in the attack again. Great play by Enda.
Conor Devaney of Roscommon. And he held on to it too long. It's a time for quick thinking, for clear heads. Here's Shane Walsh. Lovely little chip forward just over the head and the hands outstretched of Damien Comer. So Rob Finnerty has a fair bit to do. Damien Comer again. Comer fouled free in.
Yeah, and Roscommon players frustrated. Damien Comer showing all his experience there, just kind of ran into the tackle. We'll watch it here again. Wins the ball, looks for contact, takes the contact, and straight down. Joe McQuillan gives the free. So and all these opportunities now. Shane Walsh looks like he's going over for this one, but all these opportunities. They're asking the question, like, was it a free? He's down.
Yeah.
It's a fair question. To be honest, I thought Damien Comer was looking for that free. Yeah, Porrick Joyce will be happy. He's got the advantage. The conditions are tough. It's hard to score. They've picked up the intensity in the second half.
Galway have scored 4 times in the second half to Roscommon's 2. First one out of the hands for Shane Walsh. Good connection and a really good point from Shane Walsh. And we're at the second half water break.
And Galway starting to pull clear. Brilliant scores there. We've looked at Matthew Tierney on this side, and then we've looked at Shane Walsh, 2 excellent points. Roscommon looking a bit flat. This is what they've been like for a lot of the season. The questions are being asked right now, and it's a critical juncture here for Anthony Cunningham to rally the troops.
Yeah, and Stephen Poacher as well will be out there, and Pádraig Joyce. Well, his message will just be keep it going.
Yeah, you've seen Anthony saying to his players, drive on. The handbrake has to come up at this stage. There's 4 points in it. Not much left in this game, so Roscommon need to come out and play a bit now. They need to be more offensive and commit to the play.
Like on a day like today, Desi, 4 points it's big.
Massive, yeah. And you have to see Donny Smith had a free there. The conditions are very difficult underfoot. He missed that force a little bit, and all of a sudden Galway counter-attack quickly. But the frees have been very good, in particular Matthew and Shane hitting 2 absolutely fantastic scores. Big points, crucial scores for Galway to give them that bit of breathing space.
And the little bit of feistiness that is there, like, I suppose that's another indication of just how much is on the line. For one of these teams, the championship and their year in an inter-county sense ends today.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Cunningham this year hasn't won a game if he doesn't win today, and getting relegated as well. Roscommon do a lot well in this county. They're a highly ambitious county. They'll be disappointed with how things are going. Just a bit too lateral, too slow moving, and the tactic in the first half introduced with 50 men back. I think that day has moved on a little bit, to be honest.
Ultan Harney is going to come in from Clonagale. Another switch been made by Anthony Cunningham. So we have, yeah, he's on. We've seen it many a time, Desi, where the water break has led to a shift in momentum. Roscommon need it their way. Conor Cox is the Roscommon man who's gone off. There's Ultan Harney. Yeah,
very good player, Ultan Harney. The Clonagale man, plenty of experience, tough physical player. The conditions will suit him.
Lavin's kick out. Good distance on it. Ultan Harney out around the middle of the field, couldn't hang on. Hanging on for dear life, Sean Mulcairn. Peter Cook. He didn't play in the 20 championship. Was away in America. That's a good direct ball, but doesn't hit the target.
And it's just interesting, Darren. Matthew Tierney, the midfielder for most of the game, has moved into the full forward line for that long ball, and Peter Cook was trying to get him in that instant. Didn't work out, but just to note that he's moved into the full forward line. Yeah,
we'll see if they try it again.
It looks like he can do it all. We'll see what he's like at a full forward.
Cian McKeown will be full of energy indeed. He's a very quick player, pacey. Sean Malooly, Ultan Harney. They need to attack quicker. Connor Daly, David Murray. 110-9, they're behind. Conor Devaney, Malooly again. Niall Kilroy, Enda Smith. Oh, got under that one. But it might still work out for Roscommon. Oh, that looks like a defender's ball, and is a defender's ball. Johnny Heaney and Kieran Malloy.
So unlucky for Enda Smith, running off the shoulder, 30 yards out at pace, on the right foot, his favourite side. You would imagine he'd knock it over the bar, just blew it wide. Disappointing effort from him. Matty
Tierney gone out to a left half forward position. Here's Shane Walsh. Roscommon look open now. Galway trying to push for home to keep this brilliant record going in the Hyde Park, but that has been hooked wide. Liam Silk.
Great opportunity there. It looked like Shane Walsh was just going to pull the trigger, laid it off to Liam Silk, the corner back. Narrowly wide, but a great opportunity to go 5 points up. That's out on top of Tygo Rourke. Conor Devaney.
Roscommon with 2 players in their full forward line. Big gap in front of them, and that's not the correct decision. Donny Smith trying to put pressure on. Sure, there's experience in that Galway team too, but a lot of youngsters as well. Will they be able to manage these final minutes and close this out? They're in a very good position at the moment, but still a long way to go. Ultan Harney. Conor Devaney is there for him. Finally, Devaney gets it. Enda Smith. Smith gets away from Dylan McHugh. There's no real gap there. Donny Smith, Niall Kilroy forced wide. It's a free in. Donny Smith ended up on the ground. Referee blows the whistle for the free. They'll narrow it back down to 3 after this.
Yeah, we see Donny Smith laying the ball off, hand in the back, pushed there by Sean McKern, and again all being created by Enda Smith around the middle. He's having a very good game for Roscommon.
So Kieran Murta converts the free. They're still there.
Yeah, and of course we can remember the Monaghan match a couple of weeks ago. Galway let the lead slip in that instance, so it'll be interesting to see this young team, how they'll cope with the pressure of maintaining that lead.
Is there a goal in Roscommon? Is there another one in Galway? So Conor Gleeson's kick favours the right side, and Peter Cook. Paul Kelly got a touch on that. Johnny Heaney has it. He wasn't letting go. Now the referee's going to get that retaken. Conor Hussey just got a touch on it. He didn't want it taken quickly because Roscommon were out of shape at the back.
Yeah, Conor Hussey blocked down the kick. Galway were in a good position, so probably was a wise thing to do. It's not in a scoreable position, and Roscommon have an opportunity to get back into position.
Kieran Malloy. Donny Smith has come back. Roscommon have left 1 man forward only, and that shot is wide. Galway up to 7 of those now.
Paul Conroy is well capable of kicking them. Certainly would have been better advised to hold on to the ball. It was a poor effort, good 15-20 yards wide.
Good movement from Cian McKeown to get Roscommon going forward, but, well, there were too many cooks there. They got on each other's way. Here's Shane Walsh. Brought the ball under control well. Brian Stack is there in front of it. Damien Comer breaks down. I think you picked up some colourful language there on the microphones. Conor Devaney. Ultan Harney. They've got the 1 point since the second half water break. Conor Daly looked a bit short. Tyg O'Rourke for Roscommon. Cian McKeown. Is there a shot in him? Cian McKeown. Wide though. Oh no, it's... Yes, it is signalled as wide. I thought for a moment the umpire had 1 hand up in the air, but it's 2 and it's wide.
Yeah, it looked as if he had done enough to knock it over the bar. Missed opportunity for Roscommon. They're struggling to score now. Galway introducing a substitute now.
Cathal Sweeney. Finian O'Lye has gone off. Cathal Sweeney from Salt Hill, Knocknacarra. Johnny Heaney of Galway. His 21st championship appearance today. New man Cathal Sweeney. Paul Conroy. The likes of him and Damien Comer, Shane Walsh, Kieran Malloy. These are the important players now for Galway, with a lot of young ones out there, young players like Paul Kelly and Sean. Oof, that's risky. Conor Gleeson to Sean Mulkerran. Only his 2nd year in the Galway team. Shane Walsh. Oh, Walsh, there's the injection of pace. Off he goes. That hamstring is absolutely fine. Rob Finnerty's shot off his right boot. Finnerty puts it over. Galway coming up with the goods at just the right time.
Brilliant play by Shane Walsh. Put the boosters on. Great aggressive running there. Laid it off to Robert Finnerty. He's an excellent finisher. That was all created by the hard work of Shane Walsh.
And time against Roscommon. And the margin is big on a day like today. It's been dominated by the conditions. Roscommon set up to be very hard to beat. Now they've got to go and attack. The mindset, the approach, the shape has to change dramatically. Will they be thinking about how can they get a goal here? Donny Smith, they'd settle for a point right now. This is Tyg O'Rourke. They try and work it in close. Murtagh has it for Roscommon. Well defended. Liam Silk was there and Peter Cook takes it clear. And Roscommon are in trouble now because Galway are attacking with 2, now 3. Roscommon have 4 back and more arriving. Comer holds it up. Paul Kelly is free over on the far side. Actually, it's Sean, the brother. They look so alike. Here come Galway, they can finish it now. It comes back out to Sean Kelly. Kelly can't pick it up. And here's a goal chance, and it's scored by Matty Tierney. What a fabulous strike from Matty Tierney on his championship debut. That seals it.
What a player this man is. The ball breaks to Matthew Tierney. Nobody better to break to in off the post. What a finish and what a game this man had. 3 prees in the earlier part of the match. Brilliant goal there for Galway, and that certainly will seal it for the tribesmen.
That's a great finish. In off the post. They always look better when they go in off the post.
And watch that pass from Shane Walsh there. Absolutely immense pass. The vision, the awareness, the ability to pull off the pass from 50-60 yards across the pitch to make that goal.
Well, that's the problem for Roscommon. They've got to be more offensive. They've got to go for it more. But from the moment the ball was lost in their full forward line, they were out of shape. They left players forward and Galway punished them. And now it's the Hail Mary in around the square. Cian McKeown goes down. There was no foul on him. And Matty Tierney, there's probably, I think there might be 2 Matty Tierneys on the field. He's gone from scoring the goal to back to a left corner back position. And the referee has spotted a foul. Ultan Harney gets on with it quickly. Gleeson struggling after that, and Enda Smith couldn't get the necessary touch on it to steer it into the empty net. Gleeson went walkabout in the Galway goal, but he got away with it. Shane Walsh, last 5 minutes at Dr. Hyde Park in the Connacht semi-final. Damien Comer.
Mind it, Damon, mind it!
Yeah, and Shane Walsh has gone down there with, I don't know, he made a blistering run up the pitch. He gained 70-80 yards, but as soon as he did, he's pulled up. And that will be a concern for Porrick Joyce. There's no medical team on him, but he's lying on the ground here near the sideline.
Is it that hamstring? He is still down. Here's Peter Cook, and Cook drops it short into the arms of Colm Lavin. We're going to go back for the free. It's a long way out, and Shane Walsh...
This is not what Porrick Joyce wants to see. He's shaking his head there. As soon as he made that run, and it was a blistering run down the pitch, 70-80 yards, but as soon as he did, he pulled up.
Well, this was the rumour here beforehand. The talk was that Shane Walsh was struggling, that he wasn't going to start the match with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, and as soon as he let the ball off, he's pulled up. But Porrick Joyce, this is a major concern going forward, looking at a Connacht final. And he hasn't made an attempt to get back into this match, and it looks like there's some. You see it here, Shane Walsh. Yeah. And this is at the end of a 60-70 yards. You can see the grimace on his face. And there it is. That's Shane Walsh pulling up. And that could be major for this Galway team, because if it is a hamstring, we've seen it with the players, how Michael Murphy struggled to get back.
He's still on the field. They are going to bring Eamon Brannigan on. Here's Conor Daly for Roscommon. They still have time, but it'll have to be pretty remarkable to get out of this situation. Enda Smith. Tyg O'Rourke takes the contact. Going for the point, O'Rourke. Their forwards, it's been a problem all year. That's 8 wides now, and we 11 points they kicked in Armagh. They just haven't been hitting high enough totals. Walsh has gone off.
Yeah, this is massive for Pádraig Joyce. He didn't attempt to play. It'll be interesting to see Pádraig Joyce having a word with him there. You said it there, it is hand on the shoulder. That could be massive for this Galway team going forward. He truly is the leader in this team, an exceptional talent. But you said it, Dara, Roscommon's failings is the forward play, which is unusual for them.
So Paul Kelly has gone off, Johnny Dewan is on. We're really now just about getting the players on the bench a few minutes as they coast to victory here. And Roscommon have to get defenders back again as Eamon Brannigan is off. He's really quick. Rob Finnerty. Finnerty's had some big moments in the game. Damien Comer in on Colm Lavin. The two of them are okay. Ultan Harney just had a look behind to see was he about to be tackled. He wasn't though. Cian McKeown. Conor Devaney. Enda Smith. Roscommon haven't scored in the last 10 minutes. Enda Smith going for goal. He has got his point though. They need so much more at this late stage. That's the first score after the concession of the Tierney goal.
And Enda Smith has tried extremely hard throughout the day. He's really led by example. But just not enough players around him.
That's Pádraig Costello. Rob Finnerty's off. His first championship start. A good day for him and his family. But they're going to have another day out after this, and it's a Connacht final. Conor Gleeson. That hung for a long time, and Galway just looking to put the finishing touches to this now. Eamon Brannigan. The young players have been able to manage these minutes, and indeed one of them came up with the killer blow, that goal from Matty Tierney, the Uachtar man. Galway with a free, Eamon Brannigan with the ball in his hands. Dylan McHugh, another youngster who had a big game for Galway today, didn't he, Desi?
Absolutely. You would have to say Paul Kelly, Sean Kelly, Matthew Tierney winning the break there to set up this attack. The young players Pádraig Joyce has introduced have made a massive impact. I said 2 years ago there was only 3 starters today that started in the Connacht final 2 years ago. So Pádraig Joyce has introduced a lot of players into this Galway team. This is a big confidence booster. Interesting to see how Matthew Tierney gets on with this kick. He hasn't missed yet now. So
this is a good distance out. There was a yellow card in all of that for Ultan Harney. But here is one of the young Galway guns. That's going to have to go some. It'll drop short. Players in the square. Off we go with Niall Daly. It's going to be a long autumn and winter for this Roscommon team. Their journey, the league campaign didn't work out for them. They were unfortunate at times. I mentioned in the Dublin and Kerry matches, good performances. They did lose, and then, well, it was so hard to pick up the momentum and recover from those demoralising defeats. They'll be in Division 2 next year, so will Galway. But Galway have a Connacht final to look forward to. Cathal Sweeney involved. This incredible record that Galway have in Hyde Park set to continue. That's Cathal Sweeney's wide.
All coming again from a turnover in Roscommon. They've been crowded out by the Galway defence. They've done extremely well back there, but Roscommon have been loose in their passing, offensively struggling to break down this Galway team.
Back to the drawing board for Anthony Cunningham and company. Kieran Murta, Conor Daly, and Daly, well, made it tricky for Conor Gleeson. It bounced just in front of him. Gleeson is an option behind as Galway, well, there's some stuff going on the ground. Donny Smith was in close with Sean Mulcairn. They've had a big battle, those two. Cian McKeown sends it sideways. Niall Daly just send it in around the houses and see what happens. They are desperate for a couple of goals, and Gleeson with a fabulous save in the dying moments. Niall Daly, that was hit with incredible power, and Conor Gleeson kept it out.
Great ball in there by Niall Daly. And it was
Brian Stack's shot.
But what a save. You'd have to say that Conor Gleeson is some man for the shot stopping against Monaghan. He was excellent. Great reaction save there by Conor Gleeson.
That was a brilliant shot from Brian Stack, and the save from Gleeson matched it, bettered it indeed, as he kept it out. Deep in stoppage time, Paul Conroy, his 120th appearance. They always remember the victories over their fiercest rivals. He'll remember today for a bit, remember the conditions, remember how attritional it was in the first half and in large parts of the second half. There ain't any love lost between these two on the field, different off the field. Conor Daly again lashes it in long, and that goes wide, harmlessly wide, and it sums up the sort of day Roscommon have had, really.
Yeah, they'll be frustrated and disappointed coming into the game. They haven't been scoring enough all year. It's been 14 on average scores per game. They've got 12 today. Anthony Cunningham will cut a frustrated figure. They tried in the first half to introduce a very defensive system. They brought in Stephen Poacher this year. The 15 players back. They cut a very dejected. And you see Cathal Craig come on, got a point, had to pull up. And all these losses impacted Anthony's team today.
They sure did. Conor Gleeson, Dylan McHugh. Oh, they're in trouble. A mistake by Gleeson. Well, a free in is what's given. And we see this so often, a team just cruising and they lose concentration. They take their eye off the ball, literally. And Pádraig Joyce will not be one bit impressed with this, even though they are cruising to victory.
Correct, Aaron. I think there could be a booking here, but Pádraig Joyce won't be happy with that at all, because he's seen it against Monaghan. They shouldn't have lost that game. They lost it. They'll close out today's game, but they just need to be a bit more careful around the house in the closing stages of the matches. Yellow for Liam Silk, and actually you saw the shot of Pádraig Joyce there. He's walked all the way down to the Roscommon 13-metre line, or to the Galway 13-metre line, I beg your pardon, and, well, the glance in towards the defender said it all. Smith trying to work something, Gleeson made up for it. Easy to say from up here, maybe he could have drop kicked at Donny Smith to get more power and elevation, but there it is, it's all done. Roscommon are out. Galway marched through to the Connacht final, a very impressive second half display. The youngsters steered them home. Matty Tierney, they have such big plans for him for the future, but he's arrived right now, and this is an impressive young man who scored his goal at a vital time, kicked the freeze. Galway march on. Roscommon, well, it's the end of the road this evening. Great win for Galway. In the second half they came out, Matthew Tierney kicked some brilliant scores. The goal was a crucial one. It gave them the breathing distance. Big talking point obviously is the injury now to Shane Walsh. Can he recover in time to get back for a Connacht final? But Galway today, when it counted, had great players. Paul Kelly, Sean Kelly, Ciaran Malloy did excellent, Peter Cook. A great performance by Galway. Roscommon will be dejected, Anthony Cunningham will be disappointed. Poor display, didn't get enough scores, and out of the championship, no backdoor. We'll leave you with the full-time score. Galway 2-11, Roscommon 12 points, Joanne.